Welcome back to Control, episode 40-somethingth. And we are after
Federal Bureau of
the
Control.
fake-out
How may I
ending.
help you?
I need those field reports typed up and in management's hands first thing
The
tomorrow.
Bureau's the best at what it does, protecting everyday Americans from foreign threats.
There's the new girl, standing around daydreaming when she should be getting work done. Wait, who the hell does she think she is? The director?
So I like this idea. The only real problem I have with it is that since I didn't really buy the Polaris progression, I didn't really feel the emotion of that. Coming into this, I was already a little bit detached, so, it didn't really hit me with quite the strength that it probably could have. I think that a lot of other people probably felt it a lot more than me. But there's a lot to talk about in this dream sequence. I want to point out that that we have a big desaturation effect going on. They've taken out all of the greens and the blues, but left all the reds intact.
Of course.
You can see that just by looking at her face. We got the lipstick running. See that? This is a good choice for a lot of reasons. One, it really helps things to pop, and two, it reminds us of the Hiss, because the Hiss are red. They're the ones that do all of the red-related stuff in the game, so this is immediately, oh, it's Hiss-related. Exactly how it's Hiss-related is up to, we're not sure yet. We know that Dylan Faden had a dream about this. He had a dream that we were an office lady and that he was the director. And we're kind of experiencing that dream now. And I think that is a fun idea. I think it's a fun way to do things like this. It is a pretty good sequence. If I had been in the mood for it when it had started up, I probably would have been a lot happier to see it. Problem with this sequence is that people talk all the time, so it is going to be a little bit of a challenge for me to talk over them. I have a very hard time talking when someone else is talking, even if I know that it's supposed to be background chatter. So what I'm going to do is turn down my headset really, really far so that I can't hear the audio. And we're going to just keep talking, no matter what they say. So we are going through a sequence where we are convinced that we are just an office worker. And by we, I mean the character. Obviously, the player doesn't think that we are just an office worker, but the character does. However, there are some pretty obvious problems in terms of we can tell that this is a dream sequence right away. It's not even trying to be convincing. There are people standing around looking at the sky. If we go to the right spot, there are people floating. I'll show you if we finish this little sequence. I'll go over and show you some obvious issues. We've got like some zombie workers in the office. There's all sorts of details that immediately show you that this is just a Hiss illusion. It's not intended to be taken legit. See? And that's not bad. It's not something where it's supposed to be taken legit. It's something that's supposed to reveal more about Jesse. A lot of characters with self-esteem issues have sequences like this in their game. If you remember Life is Strange, they have a very similar sequence, or several very similar sequences, for Max, because Max has serious problems, being social and being confident, and so she has these delusions where people don't like her, and it works great. It tells us the inner thoughts of the character by them having a hallucination of the sorts of things they might, instead of saying I feel nervous and I don't feel like I can do these things, and I don't feel like I'm able to keep up with the rest. Instead, they show us that by showing a world where all of their fears are true and they can't keep up with things, and nobody likes them.
My pleasure.
Jessie is a very similar sort of character. Her drives are different, her interests are different. At the end of the day, though, we don't really buy that Jesse has those kinds of inner turmoils. I mean, maybe you do, but I don't, because we never really got to hear it in person before. She will occasionally say something like, oh, I'm more suited for the janitor role. but she never shows that she feels it. She never shows that she means it. All of the emotions and all of the insight we've gotten into her character so far have been her saying how she feels. And that's just not convincing. And so, this is not the right way. Not central executive, my bad. And so it's difficult for me to feel like this is really reflecting her own pathos. And the truth of the matter is, it's not really. It's all tangled together. Her own self-doubts are being exploited or are mirrored by Dylan Faden's illusion. And that is something that works pretty well. I'm not sure about it, though, because it's so tied up into other entities. It's not her doubting herself. It's Dylan Faden creating an illusion where she doubts herself, or something similar to that. And because of that, it doesn't have the same kind of personal punch as if she was the one inflicting it on herself, or if it were her reality. I don't think it's bad. It's certainly not bad, but it is just by nature much muddier than similar sorts of events in other games.
Oh, great. I was just waiting for my man.
And that's fine. It's just that if we wanted to know who Jesse was, maybe that should be something we should have started to do 10 hours ago.
What is happening? I don't like this.
This sequence is good.
This isn't me. I'm not me. I can't. Why can't I feel you? Oh,
So normally I
can't think.
well, I think that she's yelling right now, so I'll let her yell for a bit. Yeah, there we are. I can't hear her.
I can't feel anything.
So normally I say, hell, I wish the game would stop over-explaining, but in this case the groundwork is a little bit shaky.
I want it end.
If you do listen to Dylan enough, he will explain that he should be the director, and that he wishes he was the director, and that you shouldn't be, you abandoned him, and you're no good, and all that jazz. So if you've been listening to the optional content, then the way that Dylan shoots you in the head might make sense. We might feel that, this is Dylan backstabbing us. This is Dylan killing off our friends so that he and the Hiss can take over control of the Bureau. Which, it might be that. It's hard for me to say whether it is or not, because I don't really care. Dylan's personal interests are not very important to me. Because they were never made important. The game never made me care about him as a character. It's just, ooh, wacky, insane person.
That'll be all.
One of the things I do like about this is that she naturally has this tired walk, and I believe this is just how she walks. But it really suits this part of the game very, very well, because it looks like she's tired. Shall we go deliver some more mail?
Doesn't she know how dangerous the old director is? He's unstable.
Where's the director's office? I think it's this way.
Heart.
So we can see quite clearly that the illusion is starting to fall apart, and people are starting to comment on things they don't really that aren't really in character, and we're starting to get the feeling like the situation here is that the director is being not necessarily framed, but vilified, and that can be interesting on its own, because there is this sort of situation where there is a power fight going on here, but it's not really between the director and everybody else. It's between the Hiss and what's in our head, Polaris, and the Bureau is kind of the battleground where that happens. And in this case, we're sort of seeing that. We're sort of seeing that the battle here is being is including the dead director. The dead director is now part of that battlefield instead of it just being the oldest house.
Invaded. I must act.
And so now Trench can explain to us
I'll
what's
take
going
the
on.
slide projector to the nostalgia department. I'll turn it up.
I won't let them win. That's how it happened. The Hiss got Trench first. He turned on the projector. He let them in.
That doesn't make any sense, but okay.
I have to remember the Hiss. The Hiss is the enemy. This is all inside my head. The Hiss burrowing in. I'm trapped in here. They're taking over. I'm done with this.
So things are definitely disintegrating at this point. I've turned my volume back up, so if my thoughts start to get fragmented, you know why. This is the continuation of the psychedelic high we've been going through. It was there was like an interlude of non-psychedelic stuff where we just got to shoot a bunch of dudes for 10 minutes, which may have been a good idea, but
We'll fight this.
I have a
I
hard
will find
time.
a way to push them out.
I have a hard time buying this. It just doesn't feel like it's been earned, because Jessie didn't really even exist as a character. She was basically an empty avatar that occasionally said, "I'm looking for my brother."
Welcome back. I knew I chose a good assistant.
Let's see how this unfolds.
I need my gun.
Now that part was really good, where we got to pick up our gun from the place we normally get the mail. That was good.
Start at the beginning.
And this part's good too.
I should have seen it earlier. This is my mess to clean up. My fight.
That
No
part I
one
don't
else's.
buy, but it's better than nothing.
I am the director.
Hello, this is Dr. Casper Darling. I have a classified message for the director of the Federal Bureau.
This is that half-naked
of Control.
scientist we've been listening
I
to.
have sad news. Hedron is gone now, but it was not a source. It was a catalyst. Do you understand? You must go to my office, the Endgame. It will be revealed.
So, although it's a little unclear... Oh, jeez, I think I'm shouting into the mic. Although it's a little unclear, when he says that it was a catalyst rather than a source, what he's saying is that that big ball that blew up wasn't our friend. It was just a way for our friend to communicate with us. Here we've got some interesting ideas. We've got our character suspended instead of random people suspended. I wonder if we were wearing something else, what would happen?
But you forget. This happens more and more now. You gave us the permission to break regulations.
Wait a second. She's not saying the standard lines. Interesting. She has a different chant than everybody else. I think probably someone has analyzed it. It's not that important to me, though, so we'll just keep pushing through here. Well, some of it's the same. If you're wondering why I keep going over to those plants, there's a LOD glitch that always draws my eye. It doesn't actually mean anything, it's just me noticing something and getting drawn to it. Here we are in Dr. Darling's lab. He seems to have about 800 of them. They're all kind of small and pointless. And what's this? A pull cord. Dum-ba-da-da.
Dead, I can't feel you. I can't. This is what Dylan wanted all along.
Now,
But there's something. I can feel it, but I don't know what. The motel is a place of power, of change, a place to pass through, connecting everything.
why?
This is a dream inside my head. Why shouldn't it take me anywhere I want to go?
So this part I really like. This is the first time I have really enjoyed the motel's use. The ability of the motel to pull you out of a dream like that is a really fantastic idea. However, it sort of unlocks a whole field of questions that we could have made a much more interesting game out of. Like, if the motel can take us out of someone's dream, can it put us into someone's dream? Why are we exploring random off-world locations when we could be exploring people's heads? A strange version of Psychonauts. The opening from the far side this day.
Really?
I don't know whether or not this is going to get us a copyright strike, so we're not going to watch it. But you can watch it if you'd like. It is a full song with Dr. Darling dancing to it. And it is relatively fun. And look at this. Jesse Faden for president. Or director, I suppose. Around one's constant, they revolve. Interesting. Can we go out Ahti's door? No, I guess we're back to the normal door. No? Don't tell me I have to watch the music video all the way through. I don't want my... It's already been 20 minutes. Okay, well, I'm going to stop the video here then. See you around.